Thank you for clicking Dr. Samurai Minute Lecture. In this video, I would like to discuss who killed Japanese Prime Minister. My name is Dr. Samurai. I'm a professor specialized in international social pathology. Who killed Japanese Prime Minister? As you may have heard of it, Japan's former Prime Minister SHINZO Abe was assassinated by Tetsuya Yamagami, 41 years old. Why did Yamagami assassinate Prime Minister Abe? It is said Yamagami's mother was predisposed to obsess with the religion. When Yamagami was 2 or 3 years old, his mother was already into local religious activity, and she left home at 5 a.m. in the morning, and Yamagami was set to look for his mother crying with his diaper filled with the urine and stools because his diaper was not changed. It became so heavy and literally dragging down, and his buttock was half shown, the neighbor says. And she later became a member of Unification Church, as is reported, and donated close to $1 million by selling out the family house, which she inherited from her father. It seems that her religious obsession was so strong and deep, Yamagami's father committed suicide jumping off of a tall building nearby, and it is said he was developing neurosis due to his wife never paying attention to the family life. It was reported he was always shouting at his wife, drunk, the neighbor reported as well. And Yamagami's older brother developed cancer when he was 6 years old, and later, because of it, his brother also committed suicide 7 years before Yamagami assassinated Prime Minister Abe. Oh, if you like this kind of serious discussions, please click that green and yellow Good Luck Chum logo. Yamagami later allegedly said regarding his mother that she shows her tears and she looks like caring about children and family, but she indeed was indifferent to her children and family. So it seems safe to say that starting his critical period, which is 0 to 3 years of his life, he was neglected by his indifferent mother, who is always obsessed with her religion. And as he was saying later, his whole life was trying to get attention from his mother and father and a grandparent. So we clearly see Yamagami was a child of attachment disorder with his mother and severely damaged by his mother's continuous emotional neglect, who never paid attention to him. And his attention was always at his mother and never at developing his social ego and social identity, which is needed for him to live social life. Always paying attention to his mother, reading her face. Because of that, he is reported to have been almost transparent, non-existent student and person that his teacher even doesn't remember him as his own student. And because his mother donated close to $1 million by selling out the family house, he seems to have dropped out of his college. After that, he changed his jobs very frequently, and he couldn't continuously work at one job, the typical symptom of those from a neglected background. And because of that, at the age of 41, he stopped working at his last job. He was almost out of money, and he himself said he was to die in July for sure. So he felt like he must kill before himself die in July. Initially, his target was the head of Unification Church, who took all the livelihood of his family. But then he shifted his target from the head of Unification Church to Prime Minister Abe, who was in close relationship to the Unification Church to get substantial number of votings from the church. and knowing that the head of the church is very difficult to kill, although he had tried a couple of times. And at the time, the head was in the United States and not coming back to Japan. He changed his target to a prime minister. And in the end, he confessed, "I wanted to trust my mother. I made my best efforts to get my mother back." And he produced his own handmade gun and killed the Prime Minister Abe. What we can say about this assassination is, indeed, origin of his anger is in his own mother, who chose religion over her own children and family. But his anger couldn't go at his own mother. And as I have said, because he doesn't have his own social ego and solid identity, his sociability was completely denied, and he could not live with other people in a society. That is why he sounds so childish to talk about his mother all the time at the age of 41. But this is normal because his life was limited early on only within his own family, especially with mother. And those whose personal development was blocked for some reason, they could never take the higher step, missing that one step, in his case due to this severe neglect by his mother. So his anger was originally from his mother, but it couldn't go at his mother herself. So his anger was initially driven at head of Unification Church, which turned out to be very difficult. So his target was shifted to Prime Minister Abe. Please know, these mass murder and serial murder, they are both murder of surrogate targets. Because their anger cannot be released at the original cause, it must be released at a secondary target, which is of course not fixed completely. So it is relatively easy to shift his surrogate target to another surrogate target as long as he is satisfied. But anyway, what I would like to emphasize as a social pathologist is abuse and neglect that happens during the first 0 to 3 years of a critical period is fatal on that child's later life. And even if the child later on receives many positive inputs from the environment, it cannot change the established basis of his personality during the critical period. So it is crucial to protect child's environment during the first 0 to 3 years to make sure child's personality basis is sound and positive, so that it can be resilient against all the negativities he or she may face later on. If you are interested in this kind of deep discussions, please click the red Dr. Samir logo. Wherever you are, my friend, on this very small planet Earth, you are in this very short period of time. Okay, thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.